Welcome to Design Santa Barbara. I'm Michael Kurosh, and this week we are in Santa Barbara Design Center, where I'm excited to be sharing with you some of our favorite moments from the past few seasons. Please join us. I'm joined today by Sylvia Schulte-Maloney. Thank you for having us in this magnificent, beautiful property.
Sure, anytime.
And it's just amazing. I look at these trees, I look at this beautiful expanse. It's just unreal.
It's gorgeous,
It
yes.
looks like you have your own country.
It never gets old out here.
I can
That's
imagine.
for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine. Beautiful. We have some questions for the viewers. They're interested. They have been living in Santa Barbara for so many years. It's kind of like not a mystery, but it's something majestic they would like to know probably. So,
Sure.
tell our viewers how your family came to own this incredible location.
You know, my dad just came to me one day and said, I bought this amazing and beautiful ranch up north and you've got to come out and see it. And we were like, wow. When we first stepped foot here, we were mesmerized, and it's never gone away.
Never
As
gone
you
away.
can see.
Oh, this is incredible.
Yeah.
What year was that?
1976.
1976. And he was a German
Yes.
engineer, or
Yes.
can you explain a little bit about your dad?
He came when he was from Germany around 18 and was youngest watchmaker in Germany when he arrived over here and started to work in Beatty House in Los Angeles. And then from there met a doctor who asked him if he could try to invent this what do you call, like, medical device. And he went from that to doing all sorts of inventions for doctors and started his company in Goleta, California.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Moved up from LA.
Awesome,
So-
awesome, beautiful. So another question, this is a working ranch, and what are your current exports from this Dos Pueblos ranch?
We've got cherimoyas, avocados, soon to be getting some more cows, and an amazing abalone farm, which
Yeah.
we distribute to several of the restaurants in town.
Abalone farm. That's
Yeah.
exotic.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, that's definitely one of the only ones in California.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, hopefully we can
So-
see some of that,
Definitely,
or eat it.
for sure.
So we're currently standing in front of this beautiful ranch house. What is its history?
Oh gosh, it goes way back from the Mosier family who used to live here. And
And they were related to Occidental Oil, correct?
yes, and they actually had a unusual pet lion that they had on the flagpole and eventually gave it to the zoo. So that's
They
one
had a
thing
pet
we
lion here.
Yes,
That's
that's one
very
thing we do
interesting.
remember.
And actually your husband Mike told me about it, that he got it as a gift from an African dignitary, right?
Yes, correct.
And they had it just changed to the flagpole.
Yes. Yeah, we've kept all the historic features in the house and the molding, and it's just absolutely beautiful.
All right, Sylvia, we'd love to get a tour of the house. Is that very possibility?
Absolutely,
All right.
definitely. I'd love you to see it.
Let's see this beautiful home. Tell us about the layout of the ranch house.
Well, it's been here for quite a while, since around I think maybe even back in 1918, or it's been lived in quite a bit here and there, and it's, as you can see, gorgeous.
Is everything
All
original
around.
about it? I
Yes,
looked at the
everything.
wood,
We kept
everything.
all the original molding and really didn't change much, kept a lot of the furniture and wanted to keep the historical look of it.
It's beautiful. Very nice. I understand this house is a known haunted location. Can you tell us about some of your paranormal experiences here?
We've had maybe a few. I mean, I've experienced one. None of these ghostly experiences are bad. They're all good. We've had a few stars that used to party here from Los Angeles, Clark Gable. So we always think they're coming back and enjoying their time here. So.
Oh my God. So the ranch has a long history of being used for private events, as you mentioned. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, we've done music videos and lots of weddings. Pretty much we're open to anything that anybody would like to enjoy here.
All right. So now we have a book. It's about the ranch, Santa Barbara's Royal Rancho, and maybe you can tell us about it a little bit.
My dad was friends with Walter Tompkins and had asked him if he could document his beginnings of when he purchased the ranch and tell his story of how he came from Germany to America and purchasing the ranch. And he just loved ranching, and that was his idea of wanting to be able to put his piece in the book when he purchased this beautiful ranch.
Beautiful. So here's the book, and viewers can purchase it and read it. Sylvia, thank you again for sharing this beautiful location, your family home, with our viewers, and it's just a joy to be here and looking at these marvelous views. Got another question for you.
Sure.
Tell me about this incredible private beach you have out here.
Well, it was first discovered by Captain Cook way back when, and the very first owner of the ranch was Nicholas Den.
Nicholas Den.
And so my dad was very proud to own a piece of history.
Captain Hook actually stopped here?
Yes.
Well, that's a big deal.
Yes.
And it just, nobody around.
No. It's basically, you would think you were on a private island when you landed here.
Must have been amazing view when he got here, and look at this thing, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Well, probably the train and railroad wasn't there, but you never know.
That's true.
So over the years, this beach has played host to many special events. Can you tell us about that?
Oh boy, the list goes on. We've had, incredible amounts of music videos. We've had photo shoots, Abercrombie and Fitch, Victoria's Secret, many celebrity weddings. Katy Perry's sister married out here. It's just amazing.
I hear every car commercial is
many car
here.
commercials, commercials in general. I mean, it's on and on and on.
It doesn't get any more beautiful location than this.
It just never gets old.
I can imagine. That's why you never get old.
I like that.
Beautiful.
But it's gorgeous, yes.
Thank you.
And it doesn't really matter if it's a foggy day or a rainy day, it's still beautiful.
It's very nice of you sharing it with our viewers. Thank you very much.
Sure, absolutely.
When we come back, we will have more exciting moments from Design Santa Barbara. Stay tuned. I am Michael Courage, and my passion is helping you create the home of your dreams at the lowest possible price. If you or anyone you know has just purchased a home or reinventing a living space, we have whatever you need right here. We founded Santa Barbara Design Center to give our community a place where you will always find an open door, a friendly smile, and fabulous prices on rugs and home furnishings. Come to 410 Oliver Street to see the latest in design, and let's start this journey together.
Welcome to Rugs & More. We provide the West Coast with the most comprehensive collection of new Oriental and antique rugs. Rugs are solid art investments and often become cherished family treasures. Our limitless inventory will warm up your home. Exotic or traditional, tribal or modern, our rugs weave stories through intricate patterns, compelling colors, and touchable materials. Number one in Santa Barbara for over 20 years. Visit us today at Rugs & More, 410 Olive Street in Santa Barbara.
Welcome back to Design Santa Barbara. This week we are looking back at our favorite moments from recent seasons. Now let's look at another exciting journey we have taken. So we start with one of my favorite tapestries. It is woven around 1620s and is a Flemish tapestry. It is very detailed. It is one of the finest wool, warp, and silk faced. This one has silver and a lot of gold threads woven into it. A scene is of royal females looking at a handsome musician playing the harp. The harp, if you look carefully, is very detailed, has a little face on it, and that is made of gold. And these were made exclusively for the kings and absolutely the royalty back then. The thing that is intriguing to me is the parrot that's from the New World and didn't exist in Europe. I mean, they brought it from South America, and as you can see, is one of the most important features in this piece. One day I was counting the colors in this, has over 50 different shades, and it wasn't back then that you could go to a paint shop and buy the paint and dye the silk and the wool. And each one of these different colors has been selectively dyed by natural dyes. The reds right now, they look a little more muted, but you can imagine this being 400 years ago, very bright and shiny. The borders are of different fruits and they look realistic because they're very finely done. Interesting piece. Again, you can see vaguely in the back, there is a castle there. There is a village in the background up there. It's in the background, but it existed there. So they put it there for you to see. The faces are very realistic. You can see at this lady, it was just like romantically looking at the gentleman that's played the music. A lot of these were made for royal palaces and there's still a number of them surviving. This particular piece, a friend of mine found in Mexico City, out of all places. And it was made into a frame on the wall. The corners on this have been redone because they were cut to go into that frame. And they revolved the corners, and probably they did it over 100 years ago. They used some synthetic dyes on the wool and the silk, and you can see the sun faded those. And they're quite visible, although they're the same design, but the sun faded those synthetic dyes, as well as I can see the natural dyes, 400 years gone, they still have their own patina, they have their own color, and they don't fade. They got a little bit, they can get sometimes dusty and dirty, but they don't fade. That's a good thing about natural dyes. So it's a fabulous piece, and I'm mesmerized every single time I look at this. I look at it's probably thousands and thousands of hours of work went into weaving this. As you can imagine, they were woven on a vertical loom, and each color must have been masterly woven into this. And painting this is hard, it's absolutely hard, but weaving it, I still don't understand. How can you sit down and weave this beautiful thing? Amazing. Fair market value for such epic piece in this great condition and this beautiful subject matter is approximately $250,000. Last on this segment, but not least, we have this beautiful tapestry from Aubusson, France, and this one has a beautiful history I will tell you in a couple of minutes. They were made back then also for exports, and I think this particular one was made for export to United States. So I think the gentleman with the musket and the lady, they look very much the new colonials, and they are Americans. Motifs have changed. As you remember in the ones we had from Aubusson and Verdure, there were palaces in the background and they were typical French palaces. This looks like a monumental new world castle that you will see perhaps in the northeast of United States. And then you have that beautiful little hut or a little house that you would see typical back those days. A fascinating history about this is that this particular tapestry has a provenance, and it was hung at 1789 in Boston Concert Hall for the reception of George Washington. And as I mentioned, a lot of these tapestries were used as a backdrop and as a viewing point. So if you can imagine, George Washington was standing where I'm standing today, 1789. Well, that's very fascinating to me. Beautiful piece with a nice provenance, and it is in a fair condition. It has some little stains in the top, but that you expect that from a art piece this age. Fair market value, approximately $30,000 to $35,000. I hope you have enjoyed this week's look into fascinating history of tapestries. If you would like to see these tapestries in person, please come to Santa Barbara Design Center. When we come back, we will be looking at another fun moment from Design Santa Barbara. Stay tuned. This week on Michael's Minutes, we are going to talk about sectionals. At Santa Barbara Design Center, we will custom build a sectional to your specifications at our factory right here in California. No room is too big or too small. Our line of comfort sectionals are built to the exact size and shape you need for your room. Let you and your family enjoy the luxury of angel hair wrap, the most comfortable seating in the world. Choose from multiple colors and stain-resistant fabrics that can withstand children, pets, and spills. But don't just take my word for it. Come into Santa Barbara Design Center at 410 Olive Street and feel the comfort of a new sectional for yourself. We live in one of the most beautiful locations in the world. I've raised my kids here. I love it here. What we offer at Santa Barbara Design Center isn't just furniture. It's a chance to turn a house into a home. What may look like a deal online, it's very different when it shows up. It's something to be said for feeling it before it becomes part of your life. We are here to help guide you through this wonderful process. We are Santa Barbara Design Center. Come start your journey with us. Last night, I got a call from my dearest friend, Lisa Wilson Goldmunds, the top designer in Santa Barbara, and she said, I have a project and perhaps that would be a good story for TV. So, Miss Lisa, very welcome first of all,
Thank you.
Can you please lead us in what we are doing today?
As I was working on a project for a new client, it occurred to me that it would be a great way to explain to people. We did in a previous segment about why you hire a designer. So my thought was, why don't we show them the process and how we, as designers, think of the overreaching part of the project, and then we whittle it down to pieces. So I've put together storyboards for a client, and I want to now attach rugs to each of the rooms to make sure that when you walk in a house, it all flows.
Wonderful. And I know why we hire designers, but as we were talking about it, so we prevent having conflicts and we prevent having a lot of choices that people usually don't get it. They get overwhelmed sometimes.
There are people who love shopping for rugs, and they do it with their spouse or their significant other, and it's fun for them. There are people who would rather have dental surgery than look for rugs with their spouse. So to avoid divorces, sometimes we hire designers. Or if you're a person who is really easily overwhelmed, sometimes it's easier to have a designer pre-pick, say, 3 rugs per room, rather than looking at this and saying, how am I going to pick a rug? You have a million rugs.
And I see you have made beautiful storyboards, and that's usually what the base is. You start from the grounds up and
Right.
you dictate the colors. And it's actually a really hard thing. It's not as glamorous or as easy as people think it is.
It's not. It represents hours of thinking about it and looking at different things and saying, what about this? What about that? And sometimes people say, well, I can't afford a designer. I can't do my whole house. What you should do, if you're a designer, then it's easy. But if you're not and you don't want to hire a designer, what you still should do is start with the overreaching idea. You don't have to buy it all at once, but if you have a plan for the whole design project, then you can implement it when you will.
Well, you always have amazing color combos, and actually I look at this thing and say, well, maybe I should have this in my shop. It looks really so good. And they're so different, and it's a talent. I know you have a talent, but
Thank you.
And you're really good at it, but again, it's not easy. I mean, even for me that I'm doing this thing for how many years, it is a lot of work, and it is for you too. I know
No.
it's not easy. It doesn't come out, hey, I take this, and the other, and
Right.
put it together. That's why they hire a designer. Well,
It helps the process, and it also helps to have somebody to talk to, so you're not doing things in a void. This house specifically is a beautiful old shingle house that has a lot of character, and we wanted to make sure it didn't feel too cold and modern. We wanted it to be warm and to really celebrate the beautiful green grounds, the gorgeous wainscoting. There's some beautiful trim pieces in the room, gorgeous fireplaces, and we wanted a warm palette. So with that in mind, my client directed me to said, I just want to feel comfortable. I want to walk in my front door and say, oh, I'm home.
it is so nice.
So we choose fabrics that have a tactile hand. The way that this will work in reality when you get to their houses, here's the entryway. So we're going to do an entryway rug. This is the palette for the living room, which you see across the entryway from the dining room. And then from the living room, you go into what we're calling the cigar bar. Upstairs, the master bedroom is taking from this palette but lifting it and calming it down a little bit so it's nice and restful. And then there's a great room that we're calling the pool cabana / media room, because it's right off the pool. So in the daytime, it functions as a pool cabana, but at night, all the shades come down and it's a media room.
Beautiful.
So we want to create, as you can see, a flow of things that match. It doesn't feel like you've gone around the world. We're not sort of modern in one country or blue and gray in another. It feels like the house has a nice balance to it.
It's very harmonious. I mean,
Yeah.
you can put them all next to each other and they flow, as you say, very nicely together. I mean, it's beautiful. I want to move in. Where is it?
So as we discussed, it's classic, but it's updated classic. So I like doing a traditional rug, but in interesting new colors. Again, because it's the dining room, there's going to be a massive brown table on top of this and very large pieces. So I wanted the rug to have some interest to it. And when I walked in, I saw this. What I like about this is, again, it's playful. So it can take a really large dark table and other pieces, but it brightens up the room. So here, you know I like
ma'am.
going on field trips. Help me
Absolutely.
out. So if you stand up here and you look down, look how pretty that is. Do you see how all the colors work?
It almost made completely look that board disappear. It's so beautifully made. Yes, it looks good.
Yeah, so
You're good.
this is our starting point. This is because, again, when you walk in the front door, living room on one side, dining room on the other, these are the first things you see. And they're often the rooms where you spend the most money. You want to make sure you start right.
Absolutely true. And the colors are just absolutely
this is
stunning.
awesome.
It looks like custom made, although it's not, we know it's not, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And this rug, actually, I love this rug too. It's a Farhan, it's the finest rug is made. It is all hand knotted. It takes, gosh, probably a couple of 3 labor years for it to finish. It's beautiful. And the colors you picked are stunning.
Well, the goal now is to find the calmer, bigger sister of this, because the living room has a lot more going on. It has a lot more upholstered pieces, it has a lot more pattern. So I want something that plays well with this, but is just a little quieter.
Absolutely. So
And I need big, so I'm gonna go over here to the large people.
let's go to that stack.
Okay, here,
All
let
right.
me down.
Absolutely.
Living room, 13 by 20.
Yes.
That's why we're in the big pile.
Right side.
This is the right color palette, but can you see how busy this is with all of this?
Absolutely true.
So let's
Let's see
flip
some.
through,
Yeah.
because I know there's a couple in here that are softer but the same colors. Oh, see,
How about
tag
that?
this one. That one we'll take a bigger look at, because look how
Yes.
pretty.
I will have the guys take this
Okay.
out.
Too bright, too patterned.
How about that?
Maybe, let's take a look at that one too.
Absolutely.
And look at this. Look how pretty that is.
Yeah.
Okay,
looks
we
good.
have 3 good candidates.
All right.
I like it.
Let's take those out for now.
Okay, let's
All
try.
right.
Angel, Enrique, that was a lot of work. Thank you. I appreciate you. I want to see all 3 of them now. So let's do one at a time.
Yeah, these are big rugs, my dear.
I know, it's a big room.
Oh, wonderful. I always like to hear that.
Well, that's why I want this one to be calmer, because it is a big room and it's a big rug, and you're going to see a lot of it.
Yeah, that's a fabulous rug. It's an original Ziegler.
Isn't that
Love this.
pretty?
It's beautiful.
So let's do the drop test.
Yeah, check that out. It's fabulous.
That's just really lovely. And you can tell it looks beautiful with the one from the dining room.
Absolutely. They go nicely together.
That's very pretty. Okay.
All right. Can we
All
get the
right.
next one, please?
That one's still in the running.
Oh, this looks equally good with the other one.
This is beautiful. I like the blue in it. It looks a little more traditional to me.
Because of the medallion in it. Absolutely right.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know. Maybe. I like
Maybe.
it. It's pretty. Okay, that's why
Can we
we
get the
picked.
last one? Yeah.
So this is a good time to talk about the light and the dark side of a rug, because what we're seeing here is the light side
This
of
is
this
the light
rug.
side. Absolutely.
And the other one is the dark side.
The dark side of it.
Angel, you know what I'm going to ask you to do?
We need to flip this around.
which it's
so
important.
we get even. Yes, absolutely.
So because of the warp and the weft,
It has a nap that goes one way, and one side
Right.
is lighter because it breaks the light, and then the other one reflects it.
exactly. So people
gonna
often
flip,
see a
turn it.
rug and they say, but that's not the rug I saw. I'm like, well, yeah, it was the other side of the rug you saw.
You're getting 2 rugs for the price of 1. All right, now see, this will look different, and hopefully the viewers can see that one side is light, one side is dark. So from
Yeah.
their point of view, now it's gonna look lighter.
Right. And from our point of view, it'll look darker. It really does look much different, doesn't
Yes, it does.
it? And then with that,
Oh wow, look
that's
at that.
beautiful. That's just beautiful.
That's absolutely stunning.
So I think my favorites are the first and the third.
All right.
I think the middle one perhaps has just not enough similarities to the dining room one.
How about we see them
I
next
love
to each
so
other
much.
and you compare better?
I like it. Do you see the difference?
Yes.
This has a little more life,
It's a little bit lighter as well, yeah.
as does
Oh, yeah.
this. Okay, so
All right,
here we go.
please.
You know how I have to do this.
Okie doke. Here we are.
This is so pretty.
That is
It's
very
this one.
nice. Yes.
Don't
I
you
agree.
think?
At first I
It
thought
has-
that one, but now you see it with the other
This
rug.
has slightly more life for this palette.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Love that.
Yes, that's
Okay.
very nice. I hope you have enjoyed this look back at some of our favorite moments. To see many of the items profiled this week, please come into Santa Barbara Design Center. I look forward to seeing you here in person and next week on Design Santa Barbara.